And invite the breath in deep to nurture yourself at the beginning of this Qigong and gentle yoga class. Fluid breath. We'll begin the practice of pratyahara, which is turning the gaze inward, to pay attention to this inner ecosystem in our bodies today. Notice where the breath moves the tissue of your body as you invite the breath deep into the belly, the side waist, and the low back. Invite the breath to fill the whole circumference of your torso. But like everything else we do, we don't want to over effort at the breath. So if you feel yourself drawing in the largest possible inhale and it's causing stress or strain, relax into your exhale and invite in a gentle, filling inhale that doesn't stretch you too wide open and doesn't cause strain. More, what we're trying to do is find places in the torso where we can soften to welcome the breath. So on the exhales, we relax and soften to invite the inhale into the softened low back. In my teaching, I concentrate on the low back because we know breathing into the back body is more challenging for most people. And doing so will help us activate the back of the diaphragm and open the back tissue of the lungs, increasing our lung capacity. Soften the back body on the exhales and invite the inhales to roll up the back from the low back through the rib cage to the shoulder girdle. Relaxing on the exhales. Let the muscles between the ribs relax. The muscles of the low back relax. And see if you can feel a wave of breath roll up the back body. And every time you relax on the exhale, feel for muscles that may be tense in the face or the jaw or the torso and invite them to release. Invite the shoulder girdle to relax towards the pelvis. Invite the sternum over the front heart center to relax. And then invite the inhale to lift this heart center. And the exhale to release this heart center. And feel how the heart center can be buoyant on the waves of breath. And now invite a gentle smile to the lips. And see if you can feel the smile from the inside of the lips and gums, the inside of the cheeks. And see if you can feel this smile move up to the muscles of the eyes. And feel the muscles that help the eyes to smile. This smile can then travel through the body. This is a mindfulness practice, becoming aware of the muscles of the smile. And joy can actually come from the smile itself. Invite that smile into the heart and into the belly. And into the kidneys and the lungs, into the stomach and the intestines. Let the smile travel on the breath through the entire body. I invite you to be aware today of the connection between the physical sensations in your body and your emotional state, the state of your heart and your mind. I invite you to pay attention to what the physical body is telling you. And if it tells you, like Sharon said at the beginning of class, that it's tired, then listen and go easy. Perhaps take a nap today, or a few restorative poses. Learning to listen to the body is what will help us build our vitality. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we be present and awaken a little more throughout the practice. Namaste. Okay, let's come to standing. And let's begin with some gentle shaking of the hands, a releasing of the fingers. See if you can release tension in your palms and your wrists. And what I'm hoping for is that as we do this, most practices, you start to feel, oh yeah, I have more sensation awareness in my palms and in my wrists, and I can let go. And the shaking can invite energy flow. And I can let go in my forearms and my elbows. And we notice if these areas are tight because we've been painting or gardening or doing an arts crafts project. And we shake all the way up to the shoulder girdle, trying to really let the whole arm jiggle. Really let it go. Let there be space between the humerus bone and the shoulder girdle. Because this lack of space is where a lot of shoulder injuries begin. So we feel the weight of our arms Now draw your arms back a little behind you and see if you can still try to let go. You're going to stretch the chest. It's going to make it harder to bounce at the shoulder, but just feel where there might be tightness and breathe into it, which may mean a lifting of the heart. Now bring the arms forward and feel how they curl over the heart and let them go in a little bit of a cat-curled spine. Feel how your shoulder blades may bounce towards the edges of the rib cage and how the ribs themselves may bounce a little away from the vertebrae. Again, creating space. And then let's come back up to standing and still the arms. And draw the shoulder blades onto the back really gently with a loving awareness, broad across the collarbones, and feel for any pulsation in your hands. Feel for the energy moving. And draw a small circle with your nose. And let the circle get a little larger and a little larger, and don't go past your comfort point. Don't try to get large as fast as you can. A bigger circle isn't better. We're feeling into what muscles are working at each range of motion as we go. It's an act of getting to know ourselves, and hopefully a little bit of a release for Deb's neck. As you circle the nose, see if you can relax the shoulder girdle away from the ears. Make sure your knees aren't hyperextending and that you're strongly connected with the floor. And then take your circle small the other direction. And let it grow a little larger. And a little larger. Really feel into the neck. And you may feel muscles that reach up in under the skull because the neck, the cervical spine, goes up into the skull. So feel for those suboccipital muscles, which often get really tight, and invite them to loosen a little bit in your circles. Don't force anything. Just gentle motion, inviting awareness and opening. And then pause. Come back to your fluid, three-dimensional breath. Let's begin with the hands wrapped around the moon, and let the moon rise in the sky, taking a deep inhale and then quick expelled exhale. Let the arms go. Let your gaze rise with the rising moon, with the rising palms, and let it go. Let your hands rest over the moon so the fingers aren't stiff. Let the shoulders open as you release. And then this time, as we exhale, let your gaze follow the left thumb all the way around. And keep your gaze on the left thumb as you inhale and exhale. And one more time, we inhale and exhale. And then we bring our gaze to the right thumb and we inhale and exhale. And we inhale and exhale. Feel your shoulders circling. And rest in your Wu-Ji. And take your stance wider and roll one shoulder and then the other across your diagonal, loosening the myofascia in the diagonal stretch. Let your body be like water as it moves. And then perhaps your elbow stretches into the stretch, opening the myofascia. We may lift the arm into the backstroke. Just loosening the fascia this Monday morning. Fluid breath. Some may come into a closer backstroke. Some may stay wide. Some may stay just with rolling the shoulders. Do what's best for your body. Stay with your three-dimensional deep breaths into the back body. Maybe you take 3 backstrokes for the inhale and 3 or 4 for the exhale. Maybe you take 2. Feel what's right for your body. And then release the arms down and inhale. Arms up, exhale, palms to the top of the head. Inhale, stretch the knuckles up. Exhale, release. Inhale, middle fingers touch. We lift, interlacing the fingers, the palms and shoulders relax. And then we inhale, stretch the palms skyward. The gaze looks up and we release with the exhale. And we inhale up and exhale, palms to the head. And inhale, stretch the knuckles skyward. And exhale, release. And inhale, we lift. And exhale, release. And inhale, palms up this time, gaze up, rooting the heels. We release. And one more set. Inhaling, exhaling, and stretching, and letting go. We inhale, exhale, and inhale, and release. Wu Ji. Standing on our heels, we soften the body, inviting that boundaryless sensation. We draw the hands up under the ribs, palms down, and broad across the shoulder girdle. We inhale and turn to look out over the right shoulder, looking out the right corners of the eyes, and exhale left, and inhale, and exhale the movement, and inhale the look, and exhale, and inhale. Keep going at your own pace. Don't crank your neck, but invite a stretch. Again, pratyahara, the gaze is inward. Good morning. Good morning to whatever muscles you're sensing. And then release your arms into your wuji. And bring your hands to your buttocks and let the hands slide down your legs into your forward fold and back up your legs to your buttocks, lifting the buttocks, lift the heart, lift the gaze, lift to the balls of your feet, and exhale, fold. And inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. And inhale, lift. And keep going at your own pace with your breath. Inviting the energy to flow through the whole form as we do these brocades. And last, lift and release into your wuji. Relaxing your hands and your shoulders and your elbows. Gently take your left ear toward your left shoulder and lift the right palm thumb back and let your gaze look towards the floor. And let your right arm rest heavy towards earth. And then come back to neutral and release. Take the right arm or the left arm out, right ear towards shoulder. Let your gaze look towards the floor. A few deep breaths, palm up, thumb back. And release. Step your heels together and open your wing. And exhale together and open the other way. And become the great blue heron. Feel into gentle movement of the neck as you open the shoulders. Stretch the pectoralis muscles in the front chest, which can pull us forward, causing a lot of tension in the neck. So we open the chest and we breathe, inhaling the wing open and exhaling back. And come back to center and inhale, palms up under the heart and release. Inhale, elbows wide and release. And perhaps as the elbows bend, the knees bend. And we exhale. We inhale and exhale. Now really pay attention to, can I lift my elbows without overactivating my upper traps, my shoulders? Fluid breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Relaxing the neck. Maybe even bobble the head like a bird might. Bobble the head while you move. And remind the neck that it gets to be fluid here. Bobble the head. And then stop the bobbling if you want to rise to the balls of your feet, because that bobbling could throw off your balance. Inhale and exhale. Now we're strengthening the arches of the feet as we rise up high. And one more time, and release your heels and pause in your Wuji. Where can you relax and invite energy flow? And lift your wings and let the beak close and let the hand open and smoothly release and the beak close and the arms float, the fingers fluid. Feel for an openness in the joints of the hands, which is what I thought Ruth wanted when she was waving hi to mom. Fluid breath, elbows relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Yeah, see if you can really kind of release in the elbow. Let it be fluid. Beautiful. Now take this right into our flying cranes, bending the knee, come to the front toe. And perhaps lift the knee, perhaps not. It's fine to stay on the toe. Do what makes you feel more fluid and at ease. Inhaling, we rise. Exhaling, we release. See if you can invite that breath still deep into your back body. Can you slow down the movement? And land and step the other foot forward and exhale and in. Fluid breath, fluid movement, still relaxing in the shoulders, even if the hands are just light and low. So those of you with shoulder issues, if you're feeling your shoulders, let the arms be more relaxed, more down to your side. Fluid. Inhaling the lift, exhaling the release. Riding the air currents of your breath. And then land again in your Wuji, pausing, inviting the breath deep into the low back. Now inhale the arms up for our final bird frolic. Bring the hands down towards the knees. Cross the arms, circle them up towards the sky. And as you exhale, the wings open, lift to the toe or lift the knee and pause in balance. Use your arms like you could press down on air currents or on the ocean. Press yourself to find balance. And release into your little V with your feet and inhale. Arms lift and exhale. They circle the knees and inhale. Arms reach skyward, come to your toe and exhale. Find your balance pose. Pause with your breath, relaxing your feathers, relaxing your shoulders. These look beautiful. And then release. And we inhale, open. And we exhale, hug the knees. And we inhale, cross the arms and circle skyward. We exhale into balance. Fluid breath. Relaxing where we can. Stepping down. We inhale up and exhale, circle, and inhale, the arms rise, and we take the other side. As we exhale, the arms open into balance. Fluid, three-dimensional breath through the nostrils. And one more set. We inhale up, exhale, circle the knees, inhale, rise to the toe, and stretch the wings open and lift towards balance. Beautiful. Deep, floating breath. We release, and we inhale, open. And we exhale, fold. And we inhale, cross the arms and raise them skyward. And we exhale, float the arms on the wind. And release. And become the ocean, palms up, heart up. Float forward, up and over into your ocean wave. And inhale, finally lift. And exhale, roll. Inhale and exhale. Let your body become water, fluid in its motion. Can you relax some of the joints more open for easeful movement? Can you invite sky and water into the body for fluidity and space? And see if making the whole spine more fluid helps you feel more fluid in the neck. And come back up to standing and pause. And let's begin our Qigong eye work. First looking at the left corners of the eyes, then the right. We'll say 1 for left and 2 for right, and we'll go to the count of 18 for even and odd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Look center. Close your eyes. Relax into your heels. Relax your eyes back into their sockets. And we're going to try to keep the eyes open as we gently open them. Gaze soft. And look up to 12 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 12, 6 and 12, and 6 and 12, and center. Close your eyes. Let them rest back in your socket. And then gently open your eyes. And once again, draw a circle with your nose. Feel into your neck now and notice if there's a little less snap, crackle, and pop. There's a little more fluidity to the movement, and take your circles the other way. Fluid breath. And inhale. Let your hands windshield wiper across the heart. Exhale. Gentle fists punch out, and we inhale. Exhale, inhale, and exhale all through the nostrils unless you're plugged up. And pause, rolling the arms, cat curl the spine, and look towards earth. Lift the heart towards the heavens, roll the arms skyward. Roll down towards earth, and lift up towards the heavens, down towards earth, and up towards the heavens. One more time. And coming back up, we'll pause in Wuji. Feel into the internal landscape. And invite the arms to gently swing around the body, letting the spine twist gently. Let the head go gently with the twist. Let the front hand tap the lung, back hand tap the kidney, knocking on the door of life. We breathe and gently move the spine. We don't force it into full range of motion. But we stay with it a moment so we can get these meridians really open, this energy circulating. And we let the arms go again, gentle traction out. Fluid breath. And we go slower and really feel for the release of fingers, palms, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. And come back to center. Pause with your breath. And float your arms up. And turn the left palm up, right thumb under in your snake. And undulate the other way. Keep your arms as high as is comfortable in your body. I'm still nursing my shoulder injury, so my right arm, which looks to you like my left arm, will come low when I do the internal rotation. Fluid breath. Feel into your shoulder girdle. Invite those humerus bones to stretch the musculature, the fascia as you turn. Feel into the arm bones and their interconnection with your neck. And release your arms and roll one shoulder and then the other. Stretch the fascia side to side. And notice as you begin to lift the elbows into your circles, is my body more open and fluid now? Mine is. Fluid breath and movement. Remember, you can point off the opposite toe as you reach the diagonal with the hand. Really get the fascia throughout the body. And come into your wide stance, knees bent, hands back to back at the heart, fingers around the thumbs. And you're sitting atop a horse. So you're not sitting like this. You're leaned back as far as is comfortable. Sitting horse top. And we'll open the left palm out, right elbow back, pulling the bowstring. And then exhale. Release the arrow and draw the bowstring. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale and pause. And circle in the pinky ring and middle fingers. And rest your gaze out over the index finger knuckle. Now here you could get really overactive in your neck and shoulders. Try to release the shoulder girdle towards the hips and breathe length up the spine, along the neck into the skull. Fill the whole torso with prana and chi, with breath. And then exhale, hands back to back, fingers around the thumbs, and sit back, riding your horse. Fluid breath. And then as you're ready, open the right palm out, draw the left elbow back, and release the arrow, and then draw the bowstring, and exhale, and inhale, release, and draw, and release, and draw, release, and draw, and hold, and circle in pinky ring and middle fingers, and rest at the shoulder girdle. Almost like you could stretch those muscles at the base of the neck. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. And release your arms. And step your feet back towards center. And pause in your wuji. And bring your feet totally side by side and your palms to your heart. And come into the seed pod of your own skin. If you can, close your eyes, working on balance here. If that feels hard, then let your eyes be gently open. Breathe into the whole seed pod, the little universe inside the skin. And then root your feet deep towards the center of the earth. And let your torso lengthen and your head reach into the heavens. Spread your arms. They go on and on through space from your rooted point on earth. And let your body fill the entire universe. Let it grow and expand and take it all in through your breath. The sky and the stars, the moon, the planets, fluid breath. Fill the universe. Let the energy move easily through you as you fill the entire universe. And then draw back again into the seed pod of your own skin. And from here, step wide. And open your arms as if they hold a giant basket. And we will turn the basket to the left, turning the left foot out. The back right knee bends, if that's okay for your knee. And then we circle through center, and the back left knee bends. And we circle Our gaze follows the horizon across, and we make an offering, the basket of all good things. We cycle side to side in our communities, offering fluid breath, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, that gentle smile on the face that we can feel inside the eyes. This too is a practice. And not that you want to force it, but realize the chicken and the egg possibilities of the smile. And come back to center and release and roll your shoulders. Let's roll them both at the same time. And pause again in Wuji. Rooting the feet into the ground. Inhale, length up the spine. Exhale, a relax of the face and shoulders. Fully relax the arms to your sides. Gently draw the shoulder blades onto the back ribs. Don't try to crack a walnut. Don't draw them all the way towards the spine. Just let them rest wide on the back body. Let the palms turn forward. And then you're going to have to kind of analyze your space as we come into the little cranes, which look more like penguins to me. Keeping your knee straight, we lift one hip and the other, and we take small steps forward. When you can run out of space, take small steps backward. In Qigong, we usually work in threes, some form of three. So you may take 18 steps, but we might not have room for that. You may take 18 steps, but you can try that later in a space if you like, or you can do it now. But feel how your hips have to work. It's really good hip work of those inner hip muscles when we don't bend the knee. Woohoo! Good morning, hips. Remember, the low back and the cervical spine are very interrelated. So we work the hips. You may feel a little tension in the low back as well that will release, and then we pause. Notice if that got your heart rate up. Okay, now let's lift the wings a little higher. And let's bring one knee forward and circle it out and in. You can keep your toe low to the ground, or you can lift your knee higher. So we've been doing these circles some in Pilates too, but this is movement towards the high crane walk. Now pause and let's try the other leg. Lift and we circle. You can keep your toe on the ground. Balance is an issue. Or lift the knee, whatever height. Little bit or more. Bigger isn't better, remember. We're trying to find that 70% of effort in our unique body. Fluid breath and movement. Notice if one hip is tighter. My left is tighter. Step down. Now, take your knee out first and circle it in. And you could stay with the toe, or you could lift out to in, which will be our beginning position when we walk. Broad across your shoulder girdle. Use those shoulder blades to help you stay balanced. Yeah, and now try the other side. Knee out, we lift and circle in, and in, and in. Broad across the shoulders, heart lifted. Fluid breath. Beautiful. Okay, so if you want to do the walking cranes, then we circle in and in. So you can stay with either of those previous exercises. They were enough. If not, you circle in and then you circle out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is as far as I can go, and then it's in. So you do it to the space in your own room. Feel how you get your hips moving in these walking cranes. Now we can complicate it and have the palms forward as we go forward, and back as we go back. Woohoo! And then come back to your center and pause in your wuji. Fluid breath. And look down at the floor and release your neck. And then lengthen your neck skyward to the top of your head. Keep the back of the skull lifted as you lift your gaze skyward. If you'd like to here, jet the chin forward slightly, stretching the front of the neck. And then come back up with ease. Now turn to look over your right shoulder. Let the nose come towards the earth and look left. Draw a smile with your nose. Down, around, and up. Down, around, and up. Down, around, and up. Down, around, and up. And then come back to neutral. Let your head rest back over your shoulders. Shoulder blades lovingly hugging the back. Root into your heels and breathe into the back body. Really try to let the eyes rest back in your sockets, which will help you to rest the head back over the spine. And maintain this Tadasana upper body as you step your feet wide and turn the left foot out and take the right heel back, opening into your star pose. Bend into your Virabhadrasana 2. Bring the right hand up behind your head as you look out over the left fingers. And rest the head back in gently traction up from the base of the skull. Rest the head back. Most of us carry the head too far forward, so this lifting at the base of the skull can help you stretch those suboccipital muscles again. Again, relax the shoulders even here. And then release the back arm. And rest the arms as if they're resting on water. And then lower the right fingertips lightly to the back leg, right palm lifts. Come into your dancing warrior. And remember, we don't go to the point of strain in our spine. So for some of us, we may be pretty much upright with just a little lift in the heart. Some of us may come into more of a back bend. Just make sure you're not overworking one of the hinges. Fluid breath. And then today, let's straighten the front leg and cartwheel towards your Trikonasana. Let it be high, full of energy, rooting the legs, lengthen out through the top of the head and open through the wingspan. Check in with both knees that they're not hyperextending, and root to earth. Gently lift the pelvic floor as you float back up. Really open posture. And turn the left leg in and the right foot straight out. And then open the wingspan and bend into your Vira 2. The spine stays upright. And bring the left hand behind the back of the head as you look over the right fingertips. And lift the base of the skull with the hand. And rest the head back and relax the shoulders. Breathe into the 3 dimensions of the torso as you get used to this idea of resting the head back. And then release the arm. Relax the shoulders. Fluid breath. Can you relax your fingers and your palms and your wrists and your elbows? And lightly bring the left fingertips to the back leg, right palm lifts. Release across the shoulder girdle. Comfortably long neck. Fluid breath. Play in the pose to ask muscles to come on board so no particular group is straining. And then exhale, come back up straight in the front leg and cartwheel towards your Trikonasana, keeping the spine long and the wingspan broad. Fluid breath pulsing into the pose. Let it be a yoga spanda, a pulsation of the breath moving down deep into the pelvic bowl and out your limbs. Let your chi, your prana, pulsate in the body. And then gathering energy back towards the pelvis, float back up and turn your right leg in and step together and pause in your mountain pose. Rest into mountain with the fingers and palms relaxed. Really try to just be in the body. And now feel the pranamaya kosha, the energy body. Deep and fluid breath. Okay, let's reach for a yoga strap or a TheraBand. I think I have my yoga strap downstairs, so I'm going to use a TheraBand here. If you're using a TheraBand, double fold it. If you're using a yoga strap, it's thick enough just to bring behind your neck, right at the base of the skull. So we're doing some upper body awareness work in our standing poses today, partly because Deb asked for the neck, partly because we've been doing a lot of focus on lower body and spinal twisting. I want us to think about the repercussions of the body. So take your rock step, and you're coming towards your Virabhadrasana 1, so step it as wide as you'd like it to be. Remember, you're walking down a trail towards the front of your mat, and bend the front knee out over the ankle. Ground the back outer heel back, and check in that your knee feels comfortable. The front knee should not go in front of the ankle. Now, lift the TheraBand up under the base of the skull and stretch the back of the neck long. Really traction the head skyward. Your gaze is towards the horizon. And breathe into the pose, rooting into both feet evenly. Lift the low back rib ring as you lift the base of the skull. And invite the breath to pulsate the pose. Fluid breath. Let your awareness be inside the body. And if you can gently smile the eyes, can that reverberate through the physical tissues? Your arms can open as long as they like with the yoga strap or the TheraBand. And if you'd like to lift the low back rib ring, lift the heart, and open the pose skyward, keep tractioning the base of the skull to keep the back of the neck long. Let the spine open. And then exhale back to Tadasana. Let the strap just rest around your neck as you find your shoulder blades gently hugging the back body so the heart center can open. Tailbone rooting. Feel the earth. Feel the sky. And feel the energy pulsing through you. And then let's try the other side. Take your rock step. Step it as wide as is comfortable for you. Remember, you're not on a tightrope, so your heels are also as wide as your sit bones. We honor the body. And bend the knee out over the ankle. And ground the outer back foot heel so we can lift the back foot arch up towards the pelvic floor. and lengthen the spine as we traction the skull. We also reach the tailbone back for the back heel and lift the low back rib ring, engaging our front abdominal core. This helps us to support the spine. Fluid breath into the pose. We listen inward to the wisdom of the body. Is this pose right for me? Am I modifying it well for my own unique needs? Fluid breath. What are the sensations? And if you'd like to traction the head and lift the gaze and lift the heart into more of a back bend, do so. Not because the ego wants you to, but because it feels good to celebrate the pose. And if it doesn't, don't do it. Fluid breath. And release. And release the strap. Pause in your mountain pose and draw a circle with your nose. And feel into any changes that are occurring in the neck and shoulders. In the head's connection with the neck and shoulders. And take your circles the other way. Good. And now, let's come to a wall. And let's reach our hands as high as we can up that wall. Take your hands wider than your shoulders and stick your fingers to the wall and lower the heels. Now really feel your lumbar spine lengthen as you lower your heels. And then invite the thoracic spine of your rib cage to grow space between the ribs, between the vertebrae. And now notice, are your shoulders way up around your ears? Release your shoulders and lengthen the neck. And with this long spine, step back towards your half dog. Remember, you do not have to come to parallel with the floor. Come to where you can maintain your natural lumbar curve. Your armpits are buoying your head a little higher than your arms. And float one leg up behind you, Virabhadrasana 3. Come to your fingertips. The back of the neck is long and the shoulders are broad and released. You're strengthening the neck from the front hip flexors. Toes point down. Perhaps you float off your fingertips and balance. And then step down, walk in. Hands to the wall at shoulder height with the fingertips. Draw the arms isometrically down and lift the heart. Feel your shoulder blades on the back. Root your tailbone. Keep strength along the front of the spine. So you're not throwing your pelvis forward or your low ribs forward. You're curling the thoracic spine of the rib cage open. Now think of that TheraBand you had at the back of your neck in Virabhadrasana 1. Lengthen the back of your neck. Use that TheraBand to stretch the neck open. Use your front neck flexors to keep it strong. And release. Reach your fingers up, high on the wall again. Come onto the balls of your feet. Arms are open and slowly lower your pelvis. Feel for the lumbar spine lengthening. Create space between each vertebrae. Take your time. Create space between the vertebrae of the rib cage. And once your heels are down, notice your shoulders. Broaden across the shoulders. Lengthen the neck and walk back towards your half dog. Keep your neutral lumbar vertebrae, so we're not in a cat curl of the low back. And as you're ready, float your next foot up behind you. Draw in from the pelvic floor, lengthen the spine, and come to your fingertips. Broad across your shoulder girdle. Perhaps your fingers float off the wall, perhaps not. Fluid breath, still filling the body with prana, with chi. And we release and walk in. Fingertips at shoulder height. Humerus bones parallel to the body. We draw down isometrically on the wall. We lengthen our side waists. Hug in the banks of your river and lift the heart. Remember that TheraBand lengthening the back of the neck as you root your tailbone. You can lift your low rib ring and lengthen the thoracic spine and lengthen the neck again. Notice what awareness does for your poses. Check in that you're not hyperextending your knees as you effort, and bring the effort down a notch or two. And release. Turn around to face your back against the wall and let the whole length of your humerus bone come into the wall, shoulder girdle broad, and press the humerus bones back. Root the tailbone towards earth and breathe deep into the pelvis. Breathe deep into the abdomen. Breathe into the whole circle of the lowest ribs. Now invite the breath to also rise up and lift the heart center as you press the head of the arm bones back wide. Relax the jaw and the neck. You can bobble your head here to make sure you're not over-efforting in the neck. And release. Step away from your wall and pause in your mountain pose. And notice if there are physical changes that you're aware of in the body. And step your feet wide. Turning the toes out slightly, let your knees bend over the second metatarsals. So we come wide. Some of you will have more of a turnout than others. And just gently rock the pelvis slightly back and forth. Inviting the hip opening. Still breathing deep into the torso. Now, if you can sustain this without your hands on your femur bones, bring your arms up into your cactus position and exhale the pinkies towards one another, cat curl the spine. Stay strong in the legs, four corners of the feet grounding, and inhale, open the arms, lift the heart. And then exhale the movement and inhale into the cat curl of the spine, stretching the back of the vertebrae open. And exhale, lift the heart, open the front vertebrae. So let's exhale the movement and inhale into the position, stretching the body. And as we open the upper thoracic spine, we're more likely to have more comfort in the neck. And then come back to neutral and release your arms and roll the shoulders. And lift one more time into the cactus position. Shoulder blades on the back. Legs stay solidly where they are. Let your spine twist a little. Look out the far corners of the eyes. And come back. And twist the other direction. And come back. Your knees don't follow you in the twist. And we only twist as far as is right for your unique spine. Breathe space between your vertebrae, even as they come together on your twist. Come back to center. And side bend slightly, elbow towards femur bone. It doesn't have to be far, and come back up. And side bend. The muscles that slow down your side bend, feel for them. These are your obliques. They also make the side bend possible. They're the muscles that help you initiate the side bend. They're the muscles that help you initiate the twist. Come back up to center, straighten the legs, and step together, mountain pose. Fluid breath. So let's come into a wide-legged forward fold. You're welcome to sit on a chair. Some of you may have a yoga ball. So Doug has this yoga ball in his house. So I thought I'd model with the yoga ball today. You can sit on your chair or your yoga ball with your blocks out in front of you. Uttanasana Konasana. Now, anyone who wants to do Prasarita Padottanasana and do it from standing, you can also do that. Okay, that's your choice today. If you want to come to seated, come to sitting. If you want to do the wide-legged forward fold towards standing, towards a chair seat, or towards blocks, then feel free to do that. Okay, so your legs are open wide, and we inhale length to the spine. And we exhale, gently fold forward towards your props. Bring your hands to your props and breathe length into the spine. Now, I oftentimes tell you, you can kind of wave your shoulders or your pelvis a little bit in the pose to find a little more stretch. I think this is really important for people with asymmetries in the spine because all of us are going to need to stretch in different places of the spine. So the beauty of being on a yoga ball is that I can actually move both my pelvis and my shoulders. Then you can bring your blocks down if you like. Take them wider than your shoulders and take them forward. Do not let the knees follow you in to the forward fold. Keep the knees lined up over the second metatarsal with your feet firm into their four corners. And you may sway across the shoulder girdle, sway in the hips, and breathe into any opening you're feeling and finding in the body. As we open the whole length of the spine, the hope is we make the neck and shoulders more comfortable. Now, if your shoulders are a limiting factor here, lift the head a little higher, draw the arms in, and let the armpits be buoyant like there are little ocean buoys under them. Fluid breath. Don't collapse into the shoulders, in other words. And then exhale and slowly walk back up out of the pose. Come to sitting and let your head bobble gently on top of the shoulders. Feel into the length of your pose. Now imagine a hot air balloon lifting you from center palate. Let your pelvis be heavy and your palate being lifted and the spine gets stretched open. Breathe space between your vertebrae. Left hand to the femur, right arm alongside the ear. Stretch open. So I think all of you are sitting, but if anyone's standing, you'd sit here. Oh, Sharon, you're standing. Really lengthen broad across your shoulder girdle. Some of you will come down to your forearm. Fluid breath. Inviting the side body length. You can let the right arm rainbow overhead. And then lengthen the spine. Root the sit bones. Lift through the pelvic floor to lift back up. And switch sides. Lengthening from the sit bones through the lifted arm. Perhaps a lowering to your forearm. Perhaps rainbowing the top side body over. Fluid breath into the ribs. Relaxing the fascia on the exhales. And then exhaling, roll back up. And nod your head yes. And nod your head no. And bring your hands behind the skull, thumbs to the base of the skull, and lift the base of the skull, lift the elbows, rest the head back into your hands. Really try to find that tractioning of the neck as you lengthen back and lift the elbows. Root through the sit bones. Fluid breath. Now, some of you can maintain that long neck and release and unfurl the arms. Really root to lengthen the side bodies and spine. And exhale, hands back to the heart. Inhale, sit up tall. And just from here, gently twist one direction. Let your eyes look out the far corners and come back to center. And gently twist the other direction, eyes out the far corners and back to center. And release your hands into your lap, walking the legs closer. Breathe energy up the lengthened spine. Exhale, relax the shoulder girdle and the jaw. Breathe up the length of the spine, even out the crown chakra at the top of the head. Exhale, relax the outer body. Fluid, pulsating breath. Tune into your own body, into the pranamaya kosha, the energy body. Let this pranamaya kosha fill your physical body. Now let the mind take the shape of the energy body inside of you. Invite the mind to meld with the energy that expands the physical body. And feel into a layer more subtle than that, your wisdom body. Let the wisdom body fill the other sheaths. And let the wisdom body feel for the Anandamaya Kosha, the energy flowing through all of us. Feel that life force energy, which is a constant stream. It's always there. Sometimes our minds become clouded and we no longer connect with it and let it flow evenly through the body. Now, if there are places in your body that are in particular need of energy, invite this Anandamaya Kosha to flow there. This shared energy body to offer healing energy where you need it most. We do this kind of physical body practice to get to the point where we can feel and move energy. Okay, let's gently lift up off our seats and come to the floor. If you need a pillow for your head, please bring one in. If you think you'll want blankets to cover up with, please bring those as well. And coming down to the floor, have a bolster, some blocks, and a blanket ready. And let's take one blanket open to a quarters. And let's just make a long, skinny blanket roll for later. So you have a long, skinny blanket roll. Just waiting. And bring in your blocks. And lay down on your mat. Now we'll begin without a pillow. If you have one ready, you can take it out. And we'll lift the pelvis with a block on each side, and we'll press the blocks together underneath us. Now, if you only have one block, then just put the one block right under your sacrum. And pause for a few breaths in your bridge pose. We started class today by breathing into the back body. I invite you to breathe deep into the back body now. Invite the breath to expand the back body, to relax your jaw and your eyes, the tissues of your face, neck, and shoulders. Deep inhale into the belly, into the whole circumference of the rib cage. Relaxing the face, the eyes, the jaw on the exhales. And then float one leg up towards the sky and the other. Rest with your feet skyward, your knees slightly bent in towards your chest. And stay with your three-dimensional breath, breathing into the back body and the side waists. Those of us with lower back pain, we need three-dimensional breath to really be able to strengthen the whole circumference of the spine. So we focus in on breathing into the back, into the side waists and the belly. We gain three-dimensional awareness around the spine. Now, with the knees still bent like this, open your legs as wide as the mat is wide. And take your heels towards the foot of the mat slightly, and then rock your toes back towards the head. And let your legs just rock gently back and forth. Your hands resting on the belly. Feel for the core work that it takes to stop the heels from dropping all the way to the floor. And the core work it takes to draw the feet back up towards the head. And try not to over accentuate your lumbar curve. Use the front core to stop you from over accentuating the lumbar curve of the spine. Now bring the feet together at midline and continue the rocking. But gently hug in the glutes and the outer leg muscles so you're creating banks to your river. Now, with the banks of the river alive, take the legs wider again and keep rocking front to back. Aware of the outer leg. Also feel from the spine through the pelvis to the inner thigh. Bring the legs back to midline and rock the legs up towards the head. Open them wide, let the heels move down towards the foot of the mat and draw a circle with the legs, each foot. Feel into your abdominal core working. Invite still three-dimensional breath. The circles don't need to be large, but if you're used to doing this with me in Pilates, you can take it larger. You can take the legs straighter. Fluid breath. Try to relax the feet as you work and relax the face and the jaw and the neck. Now come up the midline and go down the center and open the legs to circle wide, a little harder for the body. Again, feel the response of your core. You may feel it all the way up to the neck. Try to relax the jaw, broad shoulders, and do most of the work from the lower ribs to the pelvis to the inner thigh. And then pause again, legs together, knees slightly bent. Resting into this legs up position, which is so healthy for the body. Come back to your three-dimensional breath, inviting the back body to expand and relax. Really try to relax the front abdomen on the exhales. Don't underestimate the health benefit of the stillness. Your intestines may be talking to you. You may feel your toes grow cool as the blood and lymph flow out of this tissue. And stay with your awareness of a three-dimensional breath. If you'd like to, you can invite in the ujjayi sound, inhaling the ah and exhaling the ha through your nostrils. Inviting the vagus nerve to relax with the massage of the breath. Open the right leg overhead and left leg long. And flex and point your feet. And circle your feet one way. Circle them the other. And switch. And flex and point and flex and point and circle. And circle. And bicycle. Letting the blood move from the legs back down to the pelvis after a standing practice. Moving nice and slow to feel the interconnections of the body. The body will find the most efficient movement if it's given the time and the opportunity to realign. So we move slow and we tune in as we bicycle backwards. Feel into your low back, your front abdomen, the sides of your spine. What's working? Let your body know you're paying attention to its wisdom. Come back up with your feet, knees soft, and float one foot to the floor and then the other. Pause with the fluid breath. Now, in this bridge pose, you're stretching your psoas pathway open. Some of you might like to lengthen one or both legs over your pro. Relaxing on the exhales. Even the feet and the ankles, the knees. Now that we're getting to know the body better, we can feel for any places where the energy is constrained by tightness. We can breathe into those tight areas and invite opening. And then gently walk your feet back in, lift up off your props, and roll yourself gently over. Let's bring our long blanket roll in today. And let's lay either on top of it or with our sacrum right in front of it. Bring your pillow onto your blanket roll and your blocks to either side of your knees. So we have a little length of our spine along the blanket roll. Pillow underneath our head. Now, some of you may be used to doing Baddha Konasana with bolster, and you can feel free to do that if you like. The beauty of the blanket roll is that both sides of the torso and the shoulder girdle can easily fall around the blanket roll, which with a larger bolster may be too wide for some of you to have that feel of the release of the head of the arm bone back. Then you can bring the soles of your feet together and open your legs onto the blocks. I like tilting the block in to meet the leg. Doesn't feel as harsh to me as a support. And then you can rest your hands wherever feels comfortable. On your belly, open beside your body, palms up. If you like palms down to help you ground, first turn palms up and externally rotate the upper arm bone, and then let the lower arm bone turn your palms down so that you get the benefit of opening across the shoulder girdle. And then tune back into your fluid breath. And invite the breath into the whole circumference of your torso. You may feel the breath come into the back body around the blanket roll. And as you relax the back of your heart into the blanket roll, breathe into the front heart. And see if you can relax the muscles of your neck and your jaw and your shoulders. Let your mind now wander through the practice for a moment, looking for any new awarenesses you gained during the practice today. And then let your mind rest back into ease, remembering that your mind can fill the pranamaya kosha and be filled by the wisdom body, the jnanamaya kosha, and the energy that flows through all of us, the anandamaya kosha. Now gently deepen the breath and bring energy back into fingers and toes. Gently draw your knees back together if they're wide. And if you're on the little blanket roll, you can just roll off to your side, your head still pillowed. And rest for a moment on your side, feeling the inner landscape. And then let's gently rise back up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Feel into your physical body now. Draw a gentle circle with your nose. And take it the other way. Notice any shifting that's happened in your energy, in the sense of space, fluidity. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May our practices help us to awaken so that we are more comfortable and at ease in our movements in our daily lives. Namaste. And thank you for coming to class.